Hello, thank you for joining us. This is the Miro Consulting webinar on Java licensing, subscriptions, and audits. We are going to begin the presentation in just about 1 minute. We're going to give everybody a chance to log in, update their Zoom client, fix their sound. You know how it is with these online things. Sometimes it takes a second or two. Again, this is the Miro Consulting webinar on Java licensing, subscriptions, and audits. And the reason you're here is because you want to know the rules. You want to be able to identify the free versus the paid versions. And you obviously do not want to fail a Java audit. My name is Sean Donahue. I am a Java licensing expert here at Miro Consulting. And with me today are some other experts that we also have on Java, as well as Oracle licensing in general. And if you are using Java on something else, we also have Microsoft experts on the line, IBM experts, Salesforce experts, and in fact, I should tell you all about that. So just so you know who you're getting this information from, because that's always important. We're Miro Consulting. We're the leading global provider in software asset management services for Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Salesforce. And we specialize in license management, audit advisory, negotiation tactics, support management, and cloud services. And basically, our job is to make sure you maximize the ROI on your software licensing investments and subscription investments. As the best thing of all, if you're ever working with us, just one of the things you should know is that we have a performance guarantee and no risk performance guarantee. And that essentially is that the cost savings that we'll provide you will be more than our fees. Many times they're 10 times our fees. So if you are looking for a partner to work with on your software licensing, you can work with us with no risk. And before I get any further, I just want to mention, if you're the kind of person like me who is furiously taking notes and scribbling things down and taking screenshots and doing everything you can to record the information, you don't have to do that. What we're going to do is after this event, we are going to send you a guide, and that guide is going to be in a PDF. It's going to have everything you need. It's going to have all the data that you're going to see in this presentation. And I will warn you, this is a very data-heavy presentation. And in fact, you want it to be data-heavy. If you go to other Java subscription webinars, Java licensing webinars, they're out there, you really should be looking for the data. If it is just kind of a talk and feel and that kind of a thing, that organization doesn't know what they're talking about. So, you know, keep in mind the data is what's important here, and that's why you're here. So we're going to give it to you after. There's no need to furiously scribble anything down. As well, we're going to send you a recording. So if you miss a part, somebody calls you up and you miss a minute here or there, you've got some colleagues who they registered and they weren't able to make it. You don't need to record everything for them. We'll do it for you. We'll send you after the event, either the end of today or maybe it might be tomorrow morning, depends how fast we can upload it. We'll send you a complete recording where you can review everything. And finally, if you want to speak with us, you can speak with us directly, both after the event and, like I said, we have questions and answers at the end. And this is the time to get your questions answered. So please let us know. We'll answer them at the end. You know, don't be afraid to ask the questions. We're not going to say who asked them. We're just going to read the questions out, and my or experts or myself will answer them for you. So let's talk about why we're here. Clearly, Java has had some changes over the years. Originally, it was announced that it was going to be a paid subscription back in 2019. But the real more relevant news for this audience is the change in the way they're selling Java now, whereas it used to be per processor, it is now per person. So what we're going to go over today are the changes from 2023 and 2024, including the changes that happened 2 days ago. We're going to talk about which versions are free, which versions are paid. And in fact, this slide, you know, just says Java 17, which of course you saw the invite. It's no longer free as of 2 days ago. We're going to go over that. We're going to talk about the different licensing agreements that you may have your Java under. We're going to talk about Java sales inquiries that you might get from an Oracle salesperson, or they might refer to themselves as a Java salesperson. We're going to talk about some conclusions, some takeaways, what kind of things should you do. So In terms of where Oracle is in determining who has Java and getting them to pay for it, they're continuing to audit their clients and most importantly as well, their non-clients. So if you think that getting audited for Java is only something you've got to worry about if you have some sort of contracts with Oracle, it's not true. Oracle is auditing many people, many organizations who do not have any other Oracle products, but they are using Java and they don't have a subscription. In particular, if you are in any sort of governmental or education or finance, we are seeing them going after those sorts of industries first, but any large organization is going to be in Oracle's crosshairs. They're starting at the top and they're working their way down to make sure that everybody who's using their product that requires a subscription has a subscription. We've estimated about 20% of Oracle's clients have actually purchased Java at this point. So this is people who have other Oracle contracts. About 20% of them have purchased Java. That might be creeping up to 22, 23 at this point. It's a little hard to tell exactly, but that's about where we think it is. And we wanted to let you know that just because it's a matter of if, when, not if, they will eventually make it around to your organization. We've assisted dozens of organizations with their Java licensing, both on the original model, the one from 2019 through 2023, and the one that has been in place since then. So the first thing I want to ask my audience here is, do you have a plan for Java? And I'll give it to you right here. So I don't like to leave these up very long, so I like to ask this in every one of these webinars I do. What's your current plan for Java? Are you going to purchase a subscription? Are you going to wait and see? And if you answer my questions here, I will share this information and let everybody know what your peers are doing. Because I think that's important. You can talk to people like us all the time, but one of the great things to hear is what are your peers doing? What are the other organizations? Are you an outlier in terms of what you're planning to do? And what I always love to say to people is, since I've been doing this, when I started doing these webinars, man, I would say that we were at like 75%. We have no plan, and that has really gone down a lot since. And I'm really glad to see that a lot of you are, in fact, at least investigating what your options are, because we're going to talk about sometimes your options aren't going to be as numerous as you might think, depending on what different teams at your organization say. So your legal team might have some plans that preclude you from using certain versions, certain Java alternatives. Your cybersecurity team might. All right, I'm going to give you one more second to answer this. And then I'm going to pull it down, but we'll get into that in a second in terms of what your options are. Again, thank you very much, and I will share this with you after the event. So let's talk about what that new pricing model is. So in January 2023, Oracle moved from their original per processor model into the new per employee metric, is how it's referred to. And that essentially means that Oracle licenses Java to your organization based on how many employees you have. That is not how many employees you have that use Java. That is how many employees you have, even if they don't use Java, even if they don't use a computer. When they count employees, if you've got someone whose job it is to rake leaves in front of your corporate building, that person counts for needing a Java subscription if anyone at your organization has one. And in fact, it is a very wide definition that Oracle uses, and I have it here on screen. Your full-time, part-time, temporary employees, your agents, contractors, outsourcers, consultants, support, anybody who supports your internal business operations. Let's put it this way. If your dog could log in, your dog would need a license. It is that simple. And I know we have a lot of smart dogs out there. I mean, he's already got a name, right? He's one step from named user plus. But yes, anybody who could log in and do anything, or even if they don't log in at all, any employee you have at all, even your interns, even your guy who rakes the grass, they are all considered employees for the purposes of licensing Java. How much is it going to cost you? Well, it varies. So in the new model, which is the employee for Java SE Universal Subscription, it is charged on a monthly basis. And as you can see, it is a sliding scale depending on how many users you have. As low as $525 a month, or we have actually seen lower. We've been able to help our clients negotiate even lower rates than that for some organizations who are over 50,000 employees. You guys know who you are. And we've been able to help employees negotiate other rates lower than what you can see here. So that's something that if you're looking to not pay sticker price, please let us know, contact us. We'll help you try to understand what your options are, what your leverage is, what your alternatives are, things like that. And again, I'm going to send this to you. You don't need to jot down all these numbers. So what happens if you already had Java under the existing contracts before they move to the per employee pricing model? Well, you might not be surprised, but you're going to hear different things from different people about this because not everybody's the most well informed. So according to Oracle rules, you do not need to purchase based on per employee licensing if you are already contracted under your existing licensing. Now, the next question we get is, well, okay, what if I have the existing licensing? Am I going to be able to renew it, or am I going to get pushed into the new per employee model, which of course could be much, much more expensive for you? Now, the rule is that if you have the existing licenses, you do not need to purchase the new per employee license. We have heard from Java reps who have said, no, you won't be able to renew. However, I can assure you, we have just very recently helped clients renew under these old metrics. I don't think these Java reps are trying to lie to their prospects and clients. I think they're just misinformed. So again, and that's something I want to make sure you're aware. If you talk to a Java rep or an Oracle rep, they're human. They make mistakes. If they tell you something that ends up not being true, they're not trying to get one over on you. They just don't know the exact rules for every little thing. So again, according to the rules and according to our experience at Miro, you can renew under the old metrics if you already had a contract. But your rep obviously might say something different. You'll get it sorted or call us and we'll help you get it sorted. So just so you know, you might get misinformation there. So how does Oracle even know if you have Java? If you didn't sign a contract with Oracle, how could they possibly know? Well, the answer is simple. Java phones home. And when I say it phones home, what it does is it calls up its servers at Oracle, just like it's supposed to, and it says, hi, I'm a Java installation. Do you have a security update patch for me? Do you have a bug fix for me? And that IP address can be traced to your organization. It's not rocket science. It's not anything that hasn't been around for a very long time. So when your Java installations on your different machines call to get their security updates and their patches and everything, their IP address by default gets sent to Oracle. That's how Oracle knows you're using Java. It also knows what version you're using and some other features, details as well. Nothing nefarious, simple internet security at work, but that's how they're going to know that you have Java. And Java will auto update itself from a free version to a paid version unless you turn off the auto updates. Even if you do turn off the auto updates, you want to make sure that not your employees can't update themselves out of compliance. And we all have them. We have that employee who something pops up and they say, yes, 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 go, 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 agree, agree, agree. Yeah, that person will update you right out of compliance. So if you're looking to find out how to turn all that off, contact us. We can help you turn it off so that we can help you turn off the updates. We can have you turn off the call home. We can help you turn off the update, allowing the user to update it. So if that's something you'd like to know about and you'd like to know sooner than later, please contact us and we'll be happy to get on the line with you and tell you how to do that. Now, keep in mind, if you do that, you're not going to get security updates, but that's your choice as an organization on what level of security you want to have versus what level of outbound calls you want to have, so to speak. So let's talk about all the versions of Java. And there's some very old versions of Java out there. It's one of those types of things where, you don't want to be on an old version of Java, but maybe you have some piece of software your organization just cannot let go of, and the manufacturer of that software just cannot seem to find a way to update it to a newer version of Java, so they exist. So basically, as of 2019, we've updated it actually. We have Java's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are sort of the old versions that are still, you still see kicking around. Java 8 is the only one that's really in true support and extended support, and that's until 2030. There's also one that's Java Web Start. That's basically a version of Java 8. So how do I know if I'm you, Mr. Client, how do I know, do I need to license my version of Java if it's 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8? Well, here's your answer. And again, we're going to send this to you. So when it comes to Java's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it depends on what updates you have, right? And that's where you see the little U's on the screen there. Those stand for update. And you can see the first number is the number of the Java version. The second number is what's called the release. You might think of that as a version or edition or, a patch number, something like that. Oracle calls them releases. And you'll notice that some of them are missing. So for Java 6, there's nothing between 45 and 51. Those were never released. So they released 45, and then the very next one that was released was called 51. So the idea here is if you have one of the versions in what's called the last free release, you do not have to license it. If you have it, if it's updated to the versions on the right and it's the first paid release, that means you do have to update those versions of Java. You will find Java 8 is going to be much more prevalent than the other ones, but keep in mind that you might have purchased software that is using one of these, not from Oracle, you purchased from a third party, and it's got Java embedded. You want to know which version it's updated to. So real quick on the next slide, we're going to talk about long-term and short-term support. So they call it mainstream and extended. And the long-term support means it's a stable version that Oracle plans to support for a long time. So in other words, about 5 years. And then after the 5 years of support, it goes into 3 years of extended support. Non-long-term versions only get supported for 6 months, and then that's it. They're done. They don't get supported anymore. So what you want to do, your takeaway here is don't move heaven and earth to update yourself to a non-long-term support version unless you enjoy doing that every 6 months. And I doubt most of you do. So you're really looking for the long-term support ones for any sort of, if you don't want to migrate all the time. So again, this is the big slide that's just changed. And if you look at number 17, that is just the one that has gone over. So it's a long-term support version. However, as of October 1st, 2024, 2 days ago, it is no longer free. So we had a lot of people who originally back in 2023 and even before, when they were sort of looking ahead, they said, okay, let's upgrade ourselves to a Java that's in long-term support, that's free, it's going to last for a while. Well, a lot of people updated to Java 17. So if you migrated a couple of years ago, you probably went to 17 if you were going to the right one. That is now a paid version. So if you are on 17 and you came here to say, okay, what do I need to upgrade myself to next to be free? Your answer is Java 21. Java 21 is a long-term subscription. It is long-term support. It does not require a subscription as of now. Oracle can change this at any time, but as of now, it does not. And it will be supported under Premier support until 2028, September 2028. If you upgraded yourself past that to 22 or 23, I believe 23 just came out, 24 is not out yet. If you updated 22 and 23, they're not long-term support, and they don't require a subscription, but they're not long-term support. So that is something to keep in mind. You're okay for now, but not for long if you're on one of those versions. And we expect 25 to be the next long-term support version that will be subscription-free, but we don't know. We can't say for sure. Oracle has not made that known yet. So let's talk about Java commercial features, because even if you have free versions of Java and you're all clear and everything else, what happens if you're using certain Java commercial features? Well, guess what? You need a subscription for everyone. So even if you have 1,000 employees who have free versions of Java, if you've got one who is using a Java commercial feature, all 1,000 of your employees need a subscription. So I threw them up on here. This is I'm not sure if this is the complete list. This is the most common list. So it's things like Java's flight recorder, mission control, advanced console management, a whole bunch of other things you can see there. And one of them I want to call your attention to is usage tracking. So if you're using the JRE usage tracker to track your organization's Java installations, you just using that feature alone means that you crossed over that line needing a subscription. So that is something to keep an eye out for. And one of the other things I always like to say, mention at this slide, you got to think past just your obvious things in that your company might have that use Java. Obviously, we're going to look at servers. Obviously, everybody's going to look at their laptops, right? What about your phones? Do you give away company phones? Those are probably going to have Java. Do you have any sort of handheld point of sale device? Do you have any sort of inventory tracking gun of some kind? Do you have industrial robots? There's all kinds of things that you have, that organizations have that might have Java. In fact, what we always like to say at Miro here is if you're not sure, if it uses electricity, check it for Java. Real quick, it's sustaining support for Java SE, just so you understand what sustaining support means. If security is a big deal for you, what is covered is the bug updates, the security fixes. They'll fix the tools. They'll provide a reasonable assistance for customer service. So that's around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're open. They'll help you support it. They'll help support it if it's a covered version under sustaining support. But they're not doing any sort of non-technical customer service. They are giving you limited access. So that's what sustaining means, and what the support type it ends you get after extended support ends. But what's not covered is minor bug fixes. What's not covered is upgrade tools. The servicing, the customer support is limited. So just keep that in mind, that the real takeaway here is you don't want to be using something that's past its sustaining support. So what about your alternatives? So I know that's another thing that people come for. They want to know, well, what can I use instead? A lot of you in my poll just answered, you're looking to move to an alternative to paid Java. Well, you got a lot of choices, and this list just gets longer all the time since we've been doing this. So you have things like OpenJDK. You have the Amazon version. You have the Microsoft version. You have the SAP version. Everybody sort of, when Oracle announced it was paid, many large organizations immediately created their own versions. Now, you're going to have different requirements. So some of these are going to be, you take what you can get. There's no support. You're on your own. Other ones are going to come with support. The one piece of support I like to mention that to us is a little different than the rest of this list, do you need critical patch updates? So that's something, if you are in procurement, if you're in legal here, if you're a developer and you have a cybersecurity team, you want to ask them very specifically, for whatever we replace our Java with, does it come with critical patch updates? And what I mean by that, if you're not familiar, is that how often does a security bug get fixed? If it gets critical patch updates, that fix gets sent out and patched to everyone who uses it as soon as it's found. They find it, they fix it, they send out the patch immediately. If you do not have critical patch updates, you may have to wait a month. They may say, "Oh, wow, this version of Amazon, our version's insecure." Well, we'll make it secure again at the end of the month when we send out the big patch for everything. For a lot of cybersecurity teams, that is not acceptable. In addition to that, you may have issues with your compliance teams. So your compliance teams may say, well, according to our compliance rules, we have to use Oracle Java, or we can only use Oracle, or we can use Microsoft's version of OpenJDK. You're not going to know. Your cybersecurity team, if you have one, they're going to be the ones that you definitely want to talk to. Definitely talk to your compliance team. If you have a HIPAA team, talk to them as well. Anybody who is responsible for these things, they may have already assured others that you will follow certain security requirements, which means that you cannot use a sum on this list. So next one I always like to ask in terms of, your usage of Java. So have you looked at where you're using Java? And like I said earlier, a lot of organizations will do a first pass and, oops, forgot to hit the launch button. Sorry about that, people. Are you using where are you using Java? Have you looked? Because we have a lot of organizations, like I said earlier, they do a first pass, they look at the laptops, they look at the servers, they get their ducks in a row, and they're like, all right, we're good. We know where we use Java. Meanwhile, they're absolutely surrounded by other things that are using Java that they didn't even think to look at. The TV in the conference room, does that have Java? Your printer in the corner, does that have Java? Those of us who still print things occasionally. There are so many machines and devices out there that have Java in them that it's what we say, it takes more than a first time pass. You need to really take a very hard look at where those Java what could be using Java. And like I said earlier, if it uses electricity, I mean, if you get a birthday card in the mail that sings you a birthday song, there's a good chance it has Java in it. So let's go on. Thank you very much. I'll give you one more second to answer my poll. Again, I'll send this around to everyone. Thank you again. And we're going to share that after the event. All right. So there are multiple versions of agreements that you might have. And if you are someone in my legal departments out there, who registered for this event, this slide is for you. I want you to make sure you're looking at the right contract, the right agreement based on which version of Java you have. So there are three that are probably relevant to you. So one is the Oracle Binary Code License Agreement, the BCL. That basically is if you did something pre-2019, pre-April 2019, basically refers to 8 and 7 Java versions. If you have a contract that is post-April 2019, again, this will apply to Java's 7, 8, and also 11 through 16. That is under the Oracle Technology License Agreement, also known as the OTN. And if you didn't get anything until Java 17 was released, you are under the Oracle No Fee Terms and Conditions, the NFTC. That covers Java 17, 18 through 20. If you have it, it's no longer available for download, 21 and 22. Again, we'll send this to you. Okay, so let's talk about those Java sales inquiry. So you might hear people say there's no such thing as a Java audit. Well, that's because it's a Java sales inquiry. It's very simple. Company, they will get a list of IP addresses. They will trace it to your organization. They will call a lot of people. If you think you're the point person and Oracle should call you, they'll call everybody. They'll say, hey, we see you're using Java. We looked at our records. We see you don't have a subscription for Java. We've looked up your organization. You have this many employees. So we're going to send you a bill for this many millions of dollars. Clearly, that is not a happy phone call that you want to receive. So you may get questions like, how many employees do you have? I can tell you right now, it's not hard to figure out. It's very easy to get a data subscription and learn how many employees most organizations have, or very close to how many they have. So they know. Oracle knows if you have an agreement. They know if you how many employees you have. So you really got to be prepared, because once that phone call happens, your options are very, very limited. And like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they start calling your organization. Now, you might hear from different groups. You might hear from people calling themselves the Java sales team. And you might hear that someone is on the line from GLASS, which is the Global License Advisory Service. That is a division of Oracle that is the new LMS, the new license management services. Basically, this is the group at Oracle that makes sure that all the people using Oracle software are licensed to use Oracle software. Remember, when you're buying it, you don't own the software, you own a right to use it. And if people in your organization just go out, and keep in mind, people at your organization can go to Oracle's websites and download any kind of products they want, certain products, not all products, obviously. They could download things and it doesn't require you to punch in any sort of license or anything. Likewise, there are different features. You may have a product license, but you don't have all the features licensed. So one checkbox being checked that you don't have a license for can cost you a very large amount of money. And they're going to see this on their back end. So that is the Global License Advisory Service. They may be on that phone call. And like I said, they're going to ask you for a count of your employees. It used to be workstations, but now they simply figured out it was easier just to know how many employees you have. And, they're going to be courteous. Your organization might have changed. You might have grown. You might have shrunk since the data broker people last figured out how many employees you have. And, this is where, like I said earlier, you want to be very careful of you might get yourself in a perfect position, get yourself all on free versions of Java, and then one of your users upgrades themselves out of compliance. So keep that in mind when you're trying to avoid this situation. But the best, like I said, the best thing you should do is talk to experts. Talk to people who do this all the time and not a one-time round, because Oracle does this all the time. You don't want to be doing it your first time versus their 500th time. So let's talk about how bad it can get. What happens if they make that phone call? So a lot of you probably have a plan that says, well, if Oracle calls me and they start demanding Java licenses, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 1-year subscription. And during that year, I'm going to figure out what I need to figure out. I'm going to do my migrations, and then I'm not going to renew the next year. So I'm just going to have a wait and see if they find me. And that's my plan, a 1-year subscription. Well, guess what? That plan is not going to work. Here's why. If you try to buy a 1-year subscription, you are on the hook for all back usage feeds as far back as 2019. So in other words, that is at this point a 6-year subscription with 5 of the years already happening. So take whatever that pricing was that you fit into, I showed you earlier, per year, per month, and per year. Multiply that by 6. Now, that's not going all the way back to 2019 if you weren't using Java in 2019. Let's say you were only using Java back as far as 2021. it'll go back as far as 2021. So how do you not pay all those back usage fees? And remember, they have records. They know if you were using it or not. Well, you've got to buy a 3 or a 5 year subscription to avoid back usage fees. And in fact, you'd have to buy the 5 year subscription to avoid all back usage fees. And they'll give you some discounting too. But if you only buy a 3 year subscription, you're still paying as much as 50%. So again, if your plan, big takeaway here, if your plan was to do nothing or do very little and then get a 1 year subscription, that is not going to work. One more time here with a final question for you guys. Have you been audited yet? We've seen this number creeping up more and more. And I should say, have you been audited, or have you had a Java sales call? Have you had a Java sales inquiry? Let me tell you, if you think it was the beginning of a Java audit, it was the beginning of a Java audit. Now, just because it might not have progressed now doesn't mean it won't in the future. It could be a very situation. We've seen situations where client will get some calls and nothing much happens for a year because the Java sales rep got a whole bunch of juicier targets, and then they go through those juicier targets that are worth more money to them, and then they come back to you. So if you've gotten any sort of inquiry from Oracle where they're asking you anything about Java, you are on the radar. It is a matter of very soon when, not if. And again, if you're willing to share, I can see that we're pretty evenly split on this one. That's good. I've seen, unfortunately, we've seen this creeping up and up on how many organizations have been started the process or finished it. And I can tell you right now, I guess I'm going to have to update my slide again. And I'll give you guys, I'm going to say we're going to update our slide for the next one of these webinars. I'm going to probably have to put it up at 25% at this point. So again, this number is creeping up. It probably creeps up a couple of percent each month. So I will again share these with you. Thank you very much for answering my questions. And again, remember, if you have questions for me, we're going to be able to answer them all in just a minute while we finish up here. So what are the conclusions here? Well, if you haven't gone through your entire organization with a fine-tooth comb, you probably have a paid subscription of Java somewhere. If you're looking at what subscriptions you want to get it to be free, keep in mind you're looking for a long-term support release. Do not upgrade yourself. Do not move heaven and earth to move yourself to a short-term release unless you enjoy doing it every 6 months. If you don't want to go with Java, there are alternatives. Some of those are free. Some of those are paid. Azul, for example, is a paid version of Java, alternative to Java, that a lot of clients we know take a look at. If you want to be, certain of what the rules are, if you're going to start negotiating with Oracle and you're in, like, say, the legal department, make sure you're looking at the right contract. If you can't find your contracts for whatever reason, we have a lot of Oracle's old contract language. So if you're trying to figure out what the rule was in 2014 when your company bought the product that it bought, and that's important to you, call us up. We have all the old contracts that Oracle's put out for many, many, many years. So if you are looking for the language, because what Oracle does is it will put out a very brief sort of rule set, and it has links that go places, and then the underlying documents get changed over time because it's the web and you can't tell. So we have all the old versions. So again, we could take you all the way back. Your organization could have bought Oracle products involving Java or that use Java now. As far back as like 1999, we have language for it. We've been around for 25 years. That's actually the reason we have data going back that far. Be careful when you're looking at Oracle's proposals. Make sure it is in your best interest. It is what you're looking for. It gives you all of the, terms and conditions that you need. So, if you are a multinational organization, make sure that its terms and conditions allow you to use their products in the countries you intend to use them in. Things like that. And you understand what it means to upgrade and to migrate, because it can be a lot more expensive and time consuming to migrate than you may initially expect. So what do you do now? Well, don't do nothing. Doing nothing is bad. Doing nothing means it's just a matter of time before Oracle knocks on your door. Be aware where you have Java, what you're using it for. Know your settings. Know if it can call home. Know if it can upgrade itself out of compliance, or your users can do it by being happy clicking fingers. Know which you can use instead, and make sure that it clears with your other departments at your organization. So if you're like a dev team, make sure you're legal, make sure you're cybersecurity, make sure all your compliance people are okay with the changes, and get expert help. don't do it, the first time up against Oracle, where they've done it hundreds, if not thousands of times, and you haven't done it once. So, contact out. We'd love it if you would contact us, but you definitely want to have somebody on your side for this. And with that, I'm going to go into our questions, and give me a moment to pull up the questions that anybody might have. And I'm going to start you off with the first question that I always get when I do these presentations. And that is very simple. It is, if I bought a version of, if I bought an Oracle product and that Oracle product came with Java, do I need to separately purchase Java if that's the only place I'm using Java? And the answer is no. If your Oracle product came with Java and that is your only use of Java, you do not need a separate Java license or subscription to use that product. So again, if it came with it, you're good. But that does not mean if you're using Java for other things, you still need a subscription. And I believe I answered it earlier, but the big question, if I bought under the old metrics, can I still use the new? Can I renew under my old metrics? Yes, you can. If you get somebody tells you can't, contact us, we will help you. And I got my first question from the audience. Again, yep, I just sort of wanted, we're using WebLogic and also have non-Oracle products that use Java. Should we be licensing Java for those non-Oracle products? Yes, you should be. Because you are, like I said earlier, you are only covered you're only covered for that one product that Java came with. We had another question that was submitted during the registration process where someone said, can you tell me more about how this fits into Oracle licensing in general? That's a big question. We're going to contact you after the event because that's a big, deep question, and it depends on what you have, when you bought it, what you're using it for, what features you have. It's a big ecosystem, so it's important to know that we don't want to assure you that you're all good on Java. Meanwhile, you've got $10 million worth of compliance problems in other places. We'd like to tell you about that, when we see it. If Java came along with publisher's license, IBM, SAP, how do we prove to Oracle that it belongs to the other public? Okay, if you bought something that has Java installed, it came with Java. The short version is that the people who sold it to you should have a license with Oracle to ship a product that includes Java. So if you're buying from a large software company that is reputable, you're probably fine. If you are buying it from a fly-by-night shop run out of a foreign country in a questionable part of the world, they may not have a Java license agreement with Oracle. So again, if it's like the example I was given in the question was IBM or SAP, they're almost certainly going to have agreements with Oracle where if they're shipping Java, it's covered under their agreements. But again, that is rarely where we see issues. We most often see just regular Java installations that exist other places. If Oracle product comes with Java and we don't need to license, does this cover the users who are using or just the server it's installed on? You don't need, if your Oracle product came with Java, you do not need, and that's it. And again, this is almost never happens. Everybody's always using Java for something else. In theory, if that is the server that is running your Oracle product, it has the product came with Java, the Oracle product came with Java. You don't need any separate licensing for it. When you license the main product, the Java license that product uses came with it. So that's the best way to think of it. But again, this is so theoretical. Every organization we look at ends up having Java. They're using Java for something else somewhere else. So don't sweat I bought it from Oracle and it came with Java. I'll give you another 30 seconds if anybody else has any final questions. You guys have been a great audience. I appreciate it. Again, we're going to follow up right after this event. We're going to send you all the data. We're going to send you a link to the recording, and we're going to send you further contact information if you want any more. Okay, we have another quick question. Do we have a SAM tool which can simplify, discover, and tell which versions are free or paid? We generally do not recommend SAM tools for discovery, simply because they fail quietly is the best thing we like to say. So we do it with we look at your Java installations using the same technique that Oracle does. And whether that something's a tool or not a tool is not worth really trying to dive into here. But the reason that we don't recommend you rely on your, I don't want to call it off-the-shelf SAM tool, your SAM tool that does all your vendors and looks everything up for everything. Your generic sales tool. We use something that is very specifically for Java. It is because it misses. So what will happen? The common scenario we'll see is the SAM tool only looks where you tell it to look. And if you miss a certain server, if you miss a server farm, we've seen organizations miss entire warehouses of servers. Your SAM tool is going to come back and say, "You're all good, boss, no problem. You're covered." And the problem is, every time we work with a client who relied on one of their, we call them off-the-shelf SAM tools, it didn't ask the right questions in all the right places, and it can give you a real false sense of security. And where the SAM tool fails, Oracle's tools will not. Oracle's methods of investigating you for Java usage will find everything they're supposed to find. I've got a couple more here. Is there any Oracle script available for Java which can be run on servers? So Oracle, if you're using an Oracle script, then it's already too late because you can only use those if Oracle gives them to you to use. The good news is we can run, like I said, we can run the equivalent type of search. We know everything Oracle looks for. We can help you look for the exact same things in the exact same ways. And a lot of it is not just the script. You've got to know how the intricacies of deploying it in the right way in the right places is the best way to explain it. It's not that most of the time that clients who do this, it's not that they do it incorrectly. They just don't do it everywhere that they needed to do it. So again, contact us and we can help you look for Java at your organization exactly the same way Oracle does. And we do not rely on any sort of off-the-shelf SAM tool to do this. This is proprietary things we have so that we can, again, do it just like Oracle does it so we don't miss anything. If user uses one product that has licensed Java and other app that's non-Oracle but uses Java, no, it's not covered. You need a Java license for that. Will vSAM exclude Java audit like IASP for IBM? I don't know. I'm going to give it a second here. If one of my analysts on the line with me here who's a little more technical on the IBM side, if you want to give me an answer for that. If not, I'm going to get back to you after the event. In fact, I can't get back to you because I don't have your name. Please contact us using the info on screen, the person who asked the question about IASP for IBM, because your name didn't pop up on my screen here, but we'd love to be able to answer the question. I just probably need 5-10 minutes to talk to my IBM specialist to get the correct answer. I don't want to mislead you on that one because I'm not really sure what that means. And we'll follow up again. I think it's the same person saying, does the vSAM program give any audit benefit? We're going to, again, contact us on the info here because that's even a broader question, and I want to make sure we get you the right answer. Let me see, I have 2 answered. Let me just make sure my analyst didn't give you a different answer than I gave you because some of my team is much smarter than I am. So the person who asked, do you need a license? My top level expert came back and said, if you are a customer who has a current support entitlement to any Oracle product that includes Java, you can continue to have free access to Oracle Java SE Development Kit, Oracle JDK, or Oracle Java SE Runtime Environment, Oracle JRE program for use with that Oracle product only. And again, I got another answer on the SAM tool. It's more or less what I had said earlier. There are some exceptions. If you're doing personal development, we could help you understand if that's what it is. So additionally, we recommend the client remove any Oracle Java deployment that includes Oracle-approved product use, OCI deployments, any third-party applications that include or have a embedded Java embedded license, aka pass-through. I guess that was the word I was missing earlier. Pass-through license for Oracle Java as part of the application. These are not typically built in a SAM tool. Yeah, so that was when I was saying earlier is that general SAM tools, they will try to give you an answer. They'll do their best. but the odds are that they're going to give you an answer. They're going to give you an incomplete answer. So we highly recommend do not rely on that. Do not rely on that. Rely on someone who can do the investigation exactly the same way Oracle does it, which we can. That's all the questions I have for today. Like I said, the person who asked about the VSAM program and IASP for IBM, please contact us afterwards because I don't have your name here. And we will help you out and we will be able to answer any of your questions you might have and be able to help you get a better deal on Java, help you get a better deal on Java Alternative, help you understand how to turn off your call home and all those types of features. So again, thank you very much. We'll be following up this event with all of the data, a link to the recording, and a link to our analysts so that if you'd like to ask any further questions, you can. Again, thank you very much for staying with me today, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.